But coming here and doing this course, whoa, that's scary.
Let the games begin.
I love you all.
He hasn't stopped talking since... Well, I don't think he's ever stopped talking. It's on and on Donovan.
Can I do it? Yes, I can.
To the Dreadnought. Donovan counting to see how many are left, or maybe how many people he'll thank if he wins. Here are the final six, now playing for Whoa! Donovan, James, Bryony and Carlos as well, in one sweep. Well, that's sweep of gold. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
From an undisclosed location in London, and in the interest of safety, mostly for my camera so it doesn't get blown over again, we are staging this interview indoors. Now, his friends call him Smooth, we call him a legend. He is watched and loved by millions around the world. We are, of course, talking about On and On Donovan. Mate, how are you, sir?
Really good.
Right, yeah.
Good, how are you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. Do you know, we were just saying, this is the first time we've seen each other since we were out in Argentina,
yeah.
So it hasn't been that long, has it? What?
Not long.
13 years, 3 months, 19 days,
Yeah.
but who's counting?
Who's counting?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not that long.
Yeah. So, obviously, as people have seen, and you might have done as well with these interviews, it's all about serving three main purposes. People have had loads of questions about the show,
yeah.
But what is starting to emerge with these interviews is that everyone's got their own perspective on, or their own take on their personal experience with the show. So really, this is about getting your take, on the show. Obviously now, something we've just tried is questions from fans, because on YouTube a few questions have been submitted, so we'll be going to those later. And obviously, it's all well and good watching everyone fall over on the show, but everyone asks what people have been up to since, so I'd like to get a bit more of an in-depth thing about what you've been up to since. So that's that is the format for today. But let's take it right back to the start.
Okay.
What made you apply?
Well, in all honesty, I was looking for acting work at the time because I was a little bit of an actor at the time. So I was on Star Now, and I just happened.
That's the casting
website,
isn't it?
Yeah, casting website. So I just happened to be on there, and I delved into the TV section.
Right.
And I saw an application or an ad, for Total Wipeout.
Right.
I had no idea what the show was.
So you mean at that time, because we were Series 2, Series 1 must have been running. You hadn't watched Series.
I hadn't seen the show.
Interesting. Okay. Right.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
But I thought I'd give it a go anyway. So I just sent off. Applied, wrote down, hi, my name's Donovan.
Yeah.
I'd really like to appear on your show.
Yeah.
You could give me a call back on, give them my telephone number.
Right.
Later on that day, went home because I actually filled in the application when I was at work.
Yeah.
I was working really hard.
Very hard,
I was working really hard.
Yeah. You're multitasking.
Multitasking, yeah.
For anyone who says that men can't multitask, they can.
I can.
Right?
we can.
Yeah.
All right. So by the time I got home, I'd been given a phone call from someone, and someone else, they were asking me why I've applied for the show, and I happened to say I haven't seen the show. I have no idea what it was, and I remember the guy saying to me, I wish I could remember his name. But I remember him saying to me on the phone, you might not want to say that.
Yeah. That's a great way to appeal to the show producers.
Yeah,
what do you think about my show? No idea.
Yeah, but they must have been desperate because they asked me anyway. But,
that's the personality, mate. Yeah. It's all about the personality.
It was. In all honesty, I think it was fluke.
Yeah.
It was just I suppose in life you've got moments where some things just click or things just fall into place, and
it's like a perfect storm of events, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd never heard of the show, and I filled an application. Someone called me back. I managed to get the audition. Right. And the audition happened to be in Kensington, and I knew I didn't know Kensington really well, but I knew Kensington because my grandfather, he actually worked in the Jamaican embassy, and the Jamaican embassy was in Kensington, so I'd been there a few times. I'd been there a few times. And obviously the Royal Albert Hall's there as well, so it's quite prestigious. And they asked me to come along for an audition. And I went to the audition, and it was,
I've got to ask you, with the audition, for people who don't know, is that was it the same as you? Did they pretend like a mock interview? So they would use a drinks bottle as a microphone.
Yes,
so they would
did.
like hold the microphone up, and then they would ask you to introduce
to the camera.
Yeah.
You know, and I had never done TV. I'd never done an interview before.
So was this your first TV show you'd auditioned for?
It was my very first TV show that I had auditioned for. You know, and like I say, it's just moments.
Yeah.
You know, things just fall into place.
Yeah.
Like you said, the perfect storm.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was great. It was an amazing moment. It was an amazing moment for me.
Yeah.
You know, so went along, had the audition.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're going to ask, but you know they ask you to give a shout out because you know they want you to have a personality. They want to see what you're going to be like on the camera.
Yeah.
And my shout out, you know, this goes out to my friends, this goes out to my family, this goes out to Barack Obama. Can I do it? Yes, I can. You know, that was all off the cuff.
Yeah.
You know, it was so what you saw in the show. What you saw in the show.
That was
what I did for my audition.
Yeah.
And you know, Barack Obama had not too long been made president.
Do you know, I was thinking about this. He got inaugurated. He would have won it in late 2008, but he got inaugurated January 2009. This audition was like in the March. I think also it was
around
like
then,
you were within about a few weeks of it. So obviously it's fresh in everyone's mind.
It was really fresh in my mind. And because his slogan was, you know, can we do it? Yes, I can. And
there was a T-shirt. I'm sure there was T-shirts of him, and it was just yes, we can.
There were. Yeah. I feel like I should have got a T-shirt with my face on it saying yes, I can. It's not to be fair.
We need to get those printed.
You know, and yeah, you know, like I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
You know, it was just I was just having fun. You know, I was just having fun.
I suppose if you're for those auditions, there's probably a lot of adrenaline about you anyway, because there's a group of you all wanting to vie for a spot on the show. So you're not going to turn up being whatever. You know, it's going to be you're going to be energetic.
You are. You know, you've got people dressing up in fancy in their fancy dress, and I didn't do any of that. You know, I just went in, I think a tracksuit bottom, a pair of trainers, and a tank top.
Yeah.
You know, and
you didn't need fancy dress. You just let the personality shine through.
Well, you know, and that's what I was trying to do. I mean, I had no expectations. I didn't know what to expect from the show, and you know, seeing what everybody else was doing, how everyone else was reacting. I suppose that kind of led and fed me into what I was then going to do, because I wouldn't say I was trying to outshine everyone, because I wasn't trying to outshine anyone really. I was just trying to have fun and just you know, show a bit of a personality like some of the other people were doing on the show.
I think you've made a point, because something I've seen in other auditions, sometimes I think people can maybe try too hard, and it's almost stuff that they're trying to like overperform, or it just doesn't feel sort of right. If you're just being yourself and having fun, then that's probably the best version of you coming forward.
Yeah, and I think that's what I did, is that I did show the best version of myself at that particular point. You know, I mean, obviously it came across as silly, and I suppose that's the point. You know, like unashamedly silly.
It's a fun show, isn't it?
It's a fun show, and I was just trying to have fun with it. You know, and even after the audition, once you've done the obstacle course, because you know, you have to do an obstacle course as well as part of the audition. You know, so you're running around and you're making silly comments and trying to show your personality whilst you're going through. And,
so you were talking as you were doing the obstacles.
Talking whilst I'm doing the obstacle course.
Sensing a theme here about it on and on.
A lot of talking. A lot of talking. I love to talk. You know, but they take you behind the scenes, I suppose, to have a little interview towards the camera. And again, I was just having fun. You know, in all honesty, I can't remember the questions that they asked, but I remember smiling a lot. And I remember trying to make the person asking me the questions smile a lot as well. You know, and yeah, the whole thing was just I guess I just wanted to have fun with it.
Yeah.
The whole time, you know.
Well, I mean, clearly it worked, because then it would have been maybe 2-3 weeks later you would have got a call saying you were either on. Did you get like a shortlist call and then a confirmation? Call?
Yeah. So you get the shortlist. I mean, you've been on the show, so you know. You know, thousands of people have applied for the show first.
Yeah.
So even to make it to an audition,
that was something.
That's an achievement in itself.
Yeah.
You know, and then to get the phone call for them to say, all right, you've now made it to the final 1,000.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, and you're like, oh wow,
I'm in the pool of people they actually like.
Yeah, you know, it's like how many people have actually applied for this show, and you've chosen to put me into the final few. You know, and. You know, so I was like, oh wow, okay. And I remember getting that phone call. When I got that phone call to tell me I was on into the final 1,000, for example, I was on my way home from work. I was like, oh my god, wow, this is amazing. You know, and it's kind of one of those things where you get the phone call, you find out. And then you kind of put it to the back of your mind, you know. You're like, okay, cool, I've made it this far.
Okay, can I say, you're cooler than me on me. I was a nervous wreck. It was playing on my mind constantly.
It genuinely wasn't playing on my mind. It genuinely wasn't.
This is why you're called Mr. Smooth.
Apparently so, by my one friend. By my one friend.
He called it right though.
You know, and then I think it was a few weeks later, I got the phone call to say I was on the show.
Right.
And I actually got that phone call when I was at work.
Go on, right.
So at the time I was working in a school.
Right.
And they told me I've made it through. I'm gonna need. Will I be able to make it? And I was like, I'm definitely gonna be there. I'm definitely gonna be there. We might need you for 2 weeks. Is that gonna be? Yeah, definitely, 100%. I'm gonna be there. I haven't cleared this with work at this point, but I'm gonna be there. I will be there, 100%. And I remember I went into my assistant head's office, and I told her, I said, I've just got a phone call. I've made it onto a TV show, and they want me to go to Argentina. Am I allowed to go? She's like, what's the TV show? And I was like, it's a TV show. It's called Total Wipeout. Have you heard of it? And she's like, you're going to be on Wipeout. You're definitely going. You're definitely.
So at this point, she watched it and you hadn't.
She'd watched it. I hadn't seen it, and you know, I know you couldn't make it up. You couldn't make it up. And she was like, yes, you can definitely go on the show. Cleared it with the head as well, and they were like, yep, so long as you can give us a shout out, that would be great. And, I guess the rest, as they say, is history. It's history,
As soon as you've said about your shout out, this is probably a good time. We're going to cut to. We've got a little montage of your time on the show.
Okay.
Now we're calling it. Just so you know, we're calling it up on the iPad here. However, for you watching, we're going to edit it in, and then you'll come back to us in a minute.
Brilliant.
So Donovan, can I call you like Don or Donny or something?
Well, my friends actually call me Smooth.
This is going out to Barack Obama, this is going out to my gangsters in the hood, to everyone at Gospel Oak Primary School.
Okay, 5 contestants to go on the qualifier. So it's now time to... Hang on. I haven't seen how Donovan got on. Can I go back to Donovan?
Just keep your eyes on me, okay? Enough love and respect.
Here we go. No. A plan with the big balls apparently says he's going to bypass the first one and just jump straight onto the second. I'm not making this up, that's what he says. I can't wait to see it. Here we go, come on, Doc. Yes! Oh, come on, go with the plan. Oh, the final 6, now playing for Whoa! Donovan, James, Bryony and Carlos as well in one sweep. That is, well, that's sweep of gold. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. Donovan's shown he's certainly got the stamina. Now, both of them are away quickly to... This is very close. Sprinting for their life. Just one door remaining. That was so close until Chris's fall. What a competition.
This is for my friends, for my family. Ooga!
That's a strong swim. Straight away, maybe he's going to do it.
Come on!
And then onto the barrel run itself. Donovan doesn't just talk the talk. He is... making the barrels look very easy. How does that feel, having set that time to watch on and on Donovan leaping away like this? I'd be nervous if I was Carlos now watching this. Yes. Donovan picking his moment. Right, one launch pad to go. Onto the second one, no mistakes this time round. Some encouragement from Carlos. He doesn't yet know his or Carlos's time, remember. Great sportsmanship from Concord Carlos, and Donovan is finished. Over to Amanda.
So it's funny, we were talking about the shout out, and there it was.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you said about your shout out with the school. They wanted you to shout out, they weren't sure to make it in, but it did.
It did make it in, yeah. Gospel Primary School. Yeah, you know, I had to give them a shout out, because you know they allowed me to go on the show.
Yeah.
They you know, and it was one. I suppose it was one of the conditions.
Yeah.
Of me getting on there. But yeah, I didn't think they would make show that bit.
Yeah.
But I guess I think they probably did show. They probably showed that because they wanted to extend the
extend the shout out, because it lent in more to what they were trying to do.
I have a feeling somebody probably forgot as well that I was giving a shout out to the school too.
Well, I'll tell you a couple of things that slipped through. There's a couple of 4-letter words that flew back, and they've actually made it into the show.
Oh, yeah? Oh, right.
Yeah, it happened on one of the sweeper rounds. Someone got knocked off. One of the guys went, "Oh, bleep," and they forgot to bleep. If you listen carefully, it's there.
I'm gonna have to look for that.
I know. Yeah, I'll send you the link later.
I'll look that one up.
But yeah, so what are your personal... Okay, you tell us, what was your personal favourites from the show? Favourite events? What?
Man, to be fair, probably the sweeper.
Right.
I really enjoyed the sweeper.
Yeah.
Because I was so nervous getting on there. I mean, they put you on a cherry picker.
Yeah.
You know, they put you up there on a cherry picker.
Yeah, and it takes about half an hour to get us all up there, doesn't it?
It takes forever, and they're so wobbly.
Yeah.
As well. You remember they're wobbly.
Yes.
It feels like a little gust of wind, and you're gonna go. And
it's like sitting on it is one thing. Do you find that everyone sits down at first, and then bit by bit you've got to stand up, and that's the scary part?
That is the scariest bit.
Yeah.
When you see, and because it's so soft as well. You know, it was quite. It was soft but firm.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if that makes sense or not.
I do. No.
You know, but yeah, getting up and then standing, and I was standing like this for so long, and I had James behind me. You know, the eventual winner, legend as well, actually. You know, speaking to me the whole time, basically calming me down. Just saying it's gonna be alright, Don. Don't worry. You're gonna be okay, Don. Don't worry, old chap. You're gonna be okay.
I love that impression.
You know, and as soon as when the sweeper came round and I jumped for the first time and I landed it, I thought, I'm going to be okay now.
Yeah.
I was like,
I've got this.
I've got this. I've got this. And it was a lot of fun. I really did enjoy that one.
I suppose this leads into the whole thing that we don't get any practice on the course, do we?
No
that
practice.
First jump you did was a complete unknown. You didn't know how it was going to react or anything at all.
Yeah, no idea. You know, I know I said I hadn't seen the show previous to that.
Yeah.
You know, well, when I filled in my application, but I managed to watch something of the show.
So you got a bit of a heads up.
Yeah. So for me, like, that was where I wanted to get to. I wanted to get to the sweeper.
Yeah.
And anything after that, anything after the sweeper was a bonus.
Yeah.
You know. So the fact that I managed to make it through to the final was,
just beyond, isn't it? It's
Mine is still blown to this day, to be honest with you.
It was also I also noticed as well, the reason I say this, because I remember how scared I was on sweep. I was too afraid to look around.
Yeah.
You seem to have so much awareness about you, because what I saw on that clip, you're literally counting everyone, because you knew it was top 6 to go through.
Yeah.
So you were actually keeping count.
I was literally, I was counting, because I wanted to know how many. I wanted to know how many people were left, because I think once I jumped and I'd landed that first one, I guess I did want to get through. I mean, I'd be lying if I said I never wanted to get to the final.
Yeah.
I think everybody
naturally
goes on,
you want to play all the games. Don't you?
There's a little bit of competitive, being a bit of a competitor in you. So I guess by then I was like, okay, I want to get through.
Yeah.
You need to be in the top 6. So I was literally counting every time, and it was quite. It's not like it was a really long time before anyone fell off. You know, I think the first 3 contestants fell off after the first rotation, if I remember correctly. And then after a while, you know, we were generally quite good. You know, not boasting or anything. No, but it was quite a long time before anyone fell off.
The duration of what you'll see on the show is not reflective of how long the game can be. Sometimes it could be ages before the next person falls in, and it just keeps going and going. Yeah.
So if I remember correctly, I think it was Victoria. She went first, and then I saw Magnus went next, and I had counted, and I realised that I was in the final 6. Right. And in my mind, I'm pretty sure I was celebrating. Yeah. I was celebrating beforehand, and that sweeper was coming around real quick, and I didn't. And James was like, Donovan.
I just thought, what podium number were you on? 3?
I think I was 3 or it was either 3 or 4.
Okay, but by the time you were in the top 6, were you the first one to take the bar?
Yes, I was. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all right, because I had the same in mind. I was on podium 3, and I was then eventually I was the first one to take it. And if they raise the bar or do anything, sometimes you can't react to it.
No, you can't. Yeah. And you can hear it going around as well.
That's it. Yeah.
Finally, it's you know, really weird sound.
Bar, there's the whizzing sound of the bar, but also if they raise it, you hear like the mechanics of that sort of thing.
So you know, and counting, celebrating. Celebrated a bit too much, I guess, and it took me out.
With the pilot, was that sort of like, oh, I don't care, I'm through anyway. Was it like that, or was that accidental?
It was purely accidental. It was purely accidental. I was never gonna try to take anyone out. It was literally, I had counted in my mind, and I'm pretty sure I had already started to celebrate, do a little fist pump at making it into the final 6, because that's what I wanted to happen. And that pole's coming around like a...
I just thought what it could have been. Maybe, even though I wasn't in the cup, maybe you started to celebrate, and by the time you stopped, the bar was right there, and you realised, oh no, I can't jump, and then it's just over. But it made for good TV though, didn't it?
Sweeper Gold is
exactly. I know, it really was. So obviously, then, what was your thoughts of Dreadmill? Were you glad you didn't have Dizzy Dummies?
Yeah.
Do you like being spun around as well? Because I'm terrible at that.
I don't mind being spun around. I mean, I'd prefer not to be.
Yeah.
But I prefer, you know.
It's like I can't do those fairground rides where you spin around because I just feel vile. So.
Yeah. I think Dreadmill. I enjoyed our version of Dreadmill because I know there's
the Wrecking Ball one.
There's the Wrecking Ball one. That one could be really hard. To duck and still run at the same time. I mean, I think we
loved the door jam.
Yeah,
I thought it was great.
I think we kind of got lucky.
Yeah,
I think we got lucky with that. It probably was the easier one.
Yeah,
you know, either Dizzy Dummies.
Yeah,
you know, or the
I would still be at the side now, 13 years later.
I'm glad I didn't do Dizzy Dummies. I'm glad, because I'm sure I heard some people maybe like, you know, red eyes and blood vessels.
That happens in the show before you and Chris's show.
Okay, yeah, I thought
one of the guys on Dizzy Dummies, he leant forwards and there is a picture of it somewhere, and his eye went completely bloodshot.
Yeah,
he was like 28 days later.
Yeah,
you look like one of the raging infected monkeys. Sort of thing,
But going on the Dreadmill was awesome. I mean, I went up against Chris.
Yeah.
You know, and out of the three rounds, ours was definitely the most contested. You know? I mean, James went up against Bryony.
Right.
And Carlos went up against Joe, or Average Joe.
So, there's another point. The order that they showed it in, the 3 pairs, was that the order that you ran it in, or did they shuffle them around?
No, that was the order.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, that was the order. And the names were literally, they were drawn out of a hat.
That's
it. Well. So we picked our names out of
who won the sweeper in your...
Joe. Yeah, Joe won sweeper on us.
So he would have had first pick then to draw a name out.
And then Chris was second.
So then he drew you, I guess.
You know, and you know, Joe really wanted to be. If I remember correctly, I don't want to put words in his mouth or make anything up, but if I remember correctly, he really wanted to be the last man standing on the sweeper.
Right,
so,
I see.
You know, that was one of his goals, and he got that. So that was pretty cool for him. I think we did rib him a little bit. You know, for having that goal, but you know, all gentle, and you know, I was glad to not get drawn against James. As well. I was happy to get drawn against Chris, and you know, we got on really well.
Yeah.
You know, and still talk to Chris now every now and again as
good,
well.
yeah.
You know, and yeah, it was.
It's
So,
kind of nice when there's a handful that you can still speak to years later, isn't it? It just shows that it wasn't just meet a few people, move on with your life. It's just for a lot of us, it really is still. Well, I mean, look us to this day, still in touch.
To this day, you know, it's like it's a small, big part of your life.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes, I don't know if that makes sense.
That is, you've summed it up really well. Yeah. Because it is. It was just a couple of weeks of our life, but it's something that it's one of those significant little moments that either your friends will bring it up, or it's just something you can look back on. And you've got some nice memories of it. Of course, the thing we didn't know about at the time was Challenge TV, is that we thought it was just going to be on BBC once, and that was it. And then we find it's been repeated about 50 odd times in multiple countries and everything. So it's funny. Because Wipeout Zone. What were your thoughts on that? Because something I noticed. You've made comments about your swimming that you sort of struggle with that, and James referenced it as well. You look like a different person in the Wipeout Zone. You were really on it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so glad for that life preserver.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest. I mean, it helped me. It helped me a lot. Because I can't swim. I can't swim. You know, and I think for the final, I think it's that adrenaline, and it's that thought of, you know, I've got a goal. I've got to finish it.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, as soon as I came down in the ring and I hit the water, I could see where I needed to get to, and I was going for it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of my proudest moments on the show. Is for doing the swim.
Yeah.
And then, you know, when you watch it back and I hear Richard Hammond say, "That's a strong swim by
know.
Donovan."
I know. I spotted that straight away. That was brilliant.
You know, it was great. And then the Wipeout Zone was just. I mean, I've probably watched it back tons of times. Since then, and every time I watch it, I'm like, I can see where I should have gone quicker, where I shouldn't have waited for so long. I waited for a really long time. Yeah. I waited too long. It's like I was waiting for
Doesn't this lead into the fact that we've had no practice at the course?
Yeah.
And it's, you ask anyone, if you go to look at the Ninja Warrior parks, you know, and people get to try these events out, but they're just waiting for the right moment to either do the warped wall or whatever obstacle. With that, when the clock goes, you just have to go, whether you're ready or not. And so we're just thrown into that. Exactly.
It is one take. Yeah. You know, I mean, it was a great experience. I loved it. The swim was great. The jumping over the barrels. That was really good for me. Doing the monkey bar. That was great. The first half of the course. For me,
gliding.
The first half of the course, it was amazing. That was great. And then after that, going on to the spinner and I took too long to go off the spinner. You know, and then I took too long at the brusher. You know, I suppose 9 times out of 10, you're always going to fall in the water.
That brusher took nearly everyone out, didn't it?
Yeah, you know, but I don't know whether in my mind I was looking for the perfect one or not. Or maybe I don't know whether in my mind I was just trying to avoid going in the water. I'm not really too sure.
Do you know what I wondered as well? With the brusher, when we were shown around the course, it wasn't rotated, so we just see it still. When we're on the course, that's the first time we see it moving.
Yeah, it is,
In that moment, I was just like, everything was just a blur to me. I was like, I don't know where I'm supposed to go. So you just move, and then, I got hit here, fell in the water.
Yeah, just fell. I didn't even, I think one step and I was in the...
it was the same. As soon as I walked, I went straight into a brush and then just straight in.
You know, and then the trampolines, I took too long on the trampolines as well, you know, and you know, what everyone doesn't know as well, I suppose, is, you know, before you have your run, so Carlos went first. Right. So we're all sat in a tent. But you hear a klaxon go, and then you can hear the klaxon finish
when they're done.
When they're done. So you kind of have a vague idea. You know what I mean? I wasn't counting, but you have an idea. You're like, oh, that was pretty quick. Yeah. You know, and I suppose when I fell off the brusher, by then I kind of knew that I wasn't going to be beating Carlos this time. Yeah. You know, it didn't stop me from trying to finish the course quickly.
It's that instinctive competitive nature to get through. Yeah.
But you know, it just happens that I just wasn't quick enough, and I still was taking way too long on every obstacle past the spinner, basically. And
of course, then all of us had James to deal with, so it's superhuman.
Yeah. I mean, 109, I think his time
109
was.
and 110.
109, 110. I mean, insanely quick. Insanely
Actually,
quick. I remember
his
watching
two runs on the Champ Show is about the same as what some people do it once. And he does it twice.
Yeah, he was amazing.
That puts it in perspective.
He was. Because I remember watching his, because obviously we get to watch their run. You know, Carlos went first, I went second,
of course,
and James did go third. And you're watching it, and I do remember. I think someone was timing it. Someone had.
I've heard that stopwatches got stuck on.
Yeah, they did. I think they did for real. And someone was timing
not me, by the way, anymore. I did not do
or
that.
me.
Exactly.
We're innocent, Gov. All right.
Yeah. And someone timed it, and we knew it was quick.
Yeah.
We knew it was quick.
Yeah.
And boy, wow.
It was something special to watch, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
You know, James had that mentality. Still has that mentality that I wish I had.
Yeah.
You know, he was just fearless. He knows that he's going to fall off of things. You know,
that's what he said the other week, and that's where I realised. I thought that's where I went wrong. His attitude. I think if half of us had his approach, we would have done better than we did.
So I'm going to fall off of it, but I'm just going to keep going forwards. Or I know I'm going to fall. If I fall, I'm going to go forwards and just
keep moving.
Yeah, and I don't know whether that's something that they train in the army or not. If I'm being honest with you, but you know, maybe it is. But it might not be. But
the thing is, either way, it's kind of for me. My big take home from the whole experience was just learning from him.
Yeah.
You know, that was one of the main sort of things. Of course, what I'm curious about now, because going from your first show to the Champ Show, your experience is different to mine, because I was flown home, and those of us from shows. Oops, I better step back and count. Those of us from episodes 1 to 6 were flown back home and then flown back out. But you and show 7, you had to just wait around for us to come back.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. So I think we had around a day to just chill out.
Okay.
And it really was a chilled vibe.
Yeah.
You know, I remember walking around town with James.
Yeah.
Just walking. We didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
Didn't do anything in particular, from what I remember. You know, it was just a walk. And, you know, I don't know, the vibe changed. It was just, you know, it was just nice.
Yeah.
Just to.
Of course, I suppose you're used to 20 of you being around, and suddenly then it's just 6 of you, isn't it? Because you had Chris and all.
Yeah. You know,
Chris, Gary, and Adam.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Actually, there's a question about that coming up as well. We'll get to that in a moment.
Right. So yeah, it was properly chilled. You know, getting that downtime.
Yeah.
You know, and funny. One of the strange. I don't know if you saw this or not. It was really weird. I mean, you know, we're staying in a hotel, free hotel. You know, really nice hotel.
Yeah.
It was a nice hotel.
Yeah.
And I remember getting woken up by loads of barking dogs. I don't know if you remember
yes,
this.
the dogs across the road.
Yeah. People just walking their dogs, and then they put them on the fence.
That's right. There was a whole load of them just tied up.
Yeah.
Weren't they?
And then someone comes and takes the dogs. Like they're taking them all for a walk or something. I wasn't too sure.
Maybe it was
just
a dog walking business.
I'm assuming
not sure.
so. It was the most random thing I think I've ever seen or heard.
I'll tell you what I do remember with those dogs, because sometimes these dogs kind of pooped a bit on the floor. On one of the days, I didn't realise. I stepped backwards and I trudged straight into it. No. I was back in the room. I spent about an hour trying to clean all my shoes back up again. It was just like, no, that's my memory from that. So anyway, going into the Champ Show, of course, it's been mentioned. A lot of people didn't know about this. It's only got mentioned in the comments on some YouTube videos. We had something really bizarre happen in our show, because the usual procedure is day 1 on set doing the interviews, qualify, and day 2 the sweeper and the rest of the show. But that morning that we were supposed to go down to set, well, go on, talk us through what happened.
Well, we didn't go.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah, we didn't go.
Because it's normally about 7 o'clock.
The
coach takes us down.
Yeah.
And it was pouring with rain.
Yeah.
And we were just waiting there.
Yeah, because this was obviously the day after we'd done
the
qualifier.
Yeah.
So we didn't go. We were all in the hotel in the lobby.
Just sort of didn't know what to, because we got ourselves ready to be down on set, and then suddenly, oh, we're not going, and then there's a bit of a delay. We think we're going down this afternoon.
Could have been
what's happening?
Yeah, could have been the weather. We had no idea. And I think later on in the day, I think there was like brief. I don't know whether it was in the day or maybe after I got back. There was like rumours or something. Yeah,
there was rumours about something. Then there was messaging saying that we got to meet down in reception at 6 o'clock or whatever it was. The production have got an announcement to make.
Yeah, so they gave the announcement, and then they're. I mean, for the Champions show, I finished dead last.
Yeah.
Dead last in the qualifier.
The thing is, that was unfortunate because that there is a reason that tightrope was never used again. The amount of injuries that came from that was just insane. Yeah. But also that thing, you catch it wrong, and that's just you completely finished, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and I mean, I'm one of the lucky ones. I never got injured on the tightrope, thankfully. But I just fell off of it, and got stuck in the mud, and my time was probably...
That mud seemed worse in those pits. There was something...
Yeah.
It seemed really...
It was
It looks watered down in later series. Yeah. They made it a bit soft.
It was really... It was really thick. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not tall either, but I think it came up to around my waist. I think it came up to waist height when I fell into it. And I fell into it twice. Well, 3 times, because I think I fell into it again off the sucker punch.
I was the same. In fact, both of those, and I said, all 3 of them. I embraced the mud.
By then, you have to.
I was wearing half of it when I went to the balls. I couldn't see.
So was I.
I know.
It was so thick. So thick, and
it gets in places you wouldn't believe. I was still, even though I've got no hair, right? I had a few showers later, and there's still bits. How did that get into my ear and all this sort of stuff? It's like, just how?
I finished last, but I remember when they were asking, because they had a time period that they needed to film this in, so everybody had obviously told work, I will be back on this day, etc., etc. So they were going around asking people, if needs be, will you be able to stay for an extra day or for a bit longer? And obviously I finished last, but I said I'll be able to stay. Why not? I mean, it would take 13 other people to say that they can't stay for me to actually to get a chance of doing the qualifier. Sorry, not the qualifier. The sweep around.
I'll tell you what I remember though. At one point, there was a few from the 12 were saying they couldn't get the extra time off work. And at one point, I think Chris Castro, who was, I think he's 17 in the qualifier, at one point it was sounding like if all these others couldn't get the time off work, he would have been coming in the sweeper. So there was potentially a few that couldn't make it.
But I think everybody did make it in the end. So I think everybody
I think what they did, they hardballed it and they said, unless everyone is available, we won't go any further. We won't carry on with the show. And so everyone said, oh, okay, we'll do it. And then it happened.
Yeah.
But of course, the downside with that was that then they separated us as a group, which was gutting because we didn't get to spend as much time together.
And I didn't get to stay and see the sweeper and the rest of the show. So I saw who won when the nation saw who won. And it was gutting. I mean, I was gutted about that because I would have loved to have seen it because obviously
equally it's less time for us to spend together because we would have all shared the same flight back home. That was 16 hours together. We missed out on a lot of time.
A lot of time together. I've got to only really. I feel like we only briefly got to meet.
It was because when you think
there's so many people.
Well, I suppose because you were one of the ones that stayed out there, you missed the flight out because we were the ones from the earlier shows coming in. So we missed that chance to bond. We only had those couple of days to get this on. So we arrived on the Monday. Monday afternoon we arrived. Tuesday we were on set. Wednesday we found out there was the robbery on set with the camera stolen. And then by the Thursday morning we were then saying our goodbyes.
And that's why it was delayed. I don't know if you heard, but because cameras were stolen, the set had been broken into.
So what we've got here, we're going to try and do this. If I was on Zoom, we could do share screen, but instead we're going to see if this sort of works. So obviously here you've got, this was our group shot from the Champ show. This was on Tuesday, so we were doing all the promo shots with Amanda. Obviously, we do that. I know she was great.
She was.
All of that. Then this was after the qualifier, wasn't it? When we were all the results being read out, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. That's what I had. Yeah, that's when I found out I finished dead last.
Yeah.
I mean, not this particular picture.
No, that was. Well, you can see. I'm guessing from that's either Rachel or Katie that has just qualified. But what let's see if I'm going in the right direction. Then what you had, when we talked about this filming delay, this is the production crew. Andy Norgate there, was that Louisa? I think that's Emma, if I'm seeing correctly.
Yeah.
Anyway, what happened? They gathered us around. So on the day we were supposed to be on set doing the, the sweeper, the wipeout zone, all that sort of filming, we were still at the hotel, and that's where they broke the news to us what was happening. So then it was a case of, they said, right, we're going to take you all out for a meal, but those of you who didn't make the sweeper, you're going to fly home tomorrow. And suddenly we thought, like, oh, the group's been broken up. It just felt as if we weren't really getting chance. So this was us in the hotel that night. Again, we're trying to do this on here, really high quality stuff here. I haven't worked out to edit properly, okay? But then,
so they got out, wasn't it?
Yeah. Who have we got? What's that? James, other James.
Yep.
You. Jack,
Burpee Jack.
Yeah, of course. You see, the problem is these pictures from 2009. The resolution's not that great, so they're a little bit blurry. There's a point. A few people had the first iPhone when this happened. That is how old. That's how old this is. Am I going in the right direction? So this then was outside the hotel. This is when we were all saying the goodbyes. Oops, wrong picture. That one. Sorry. So again, this was us being all sort of broken up as a group, which was gutting because we never really got the full chance to to sort of bond.
I do remember chatting with Ricky.
Yeah.
And because we kind of had the same kind of trepidations about
it, of
course, because I can't remember if he was a great swimmer or not. But I think he was quite worried about being on the sweeper as well, and so it was actually quite nice to share that and have something in common with someone else as well.
It's quite funny with Ricky because if you look at the comment section, a lot of people think, oh, he's so mean, he's so horrible. He was just playing a character. That's him around. In person, he was fantastic.
Because he was a wrestler at the time.
That's right. Yeah.
So so he was used to playing a character. Yeah. That's what they do.
Do you know what? He actually did a wrestling competition a few months. The month after the champ show had aired, he was in Yate. Of course, me and Katie lived close by. We went to watch him. We saw him in action, and he was honestly. If this footage anyway, I'm gonna have to talk to him and find out. We've got to try and put that online because it was just absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
But anyway, as those of you watching this on YouTube, you'll remember a few days ago we put some questions out. If you had any questions for Donovan, so these are the ones coming in. So first one was from Joshy. Now. This is relative to this guy Joshy did know about the robbery on set, some of the other things. The whole issue about episode 7 because the finalists had to wait around. Yeah. So when you arrive,
we were episode 8.
That's it. You're episode 8. So obviously when you turn up at the hotel, you've got Gary, Chris, and Adam that are there.
Yeah.
So you go down onto set. Did they come down and watch you at all, or did they stay at the hotel?
No, they stayed at the hotel.
Oh right.
From what I don't recall them coming down. And I think that they were quite secretive about letting anybody.
They were petrified of anyone because even when during our own shows we weren't allowed to watch each other.
Precisely.
Were we? Yeah.
Because
that was something he asked.
Come down.
I think the reason he's asking that is because in series 3, for their champ show, one of the guys from another episode was able to watch. He came down on set to watch one of the other episodes when it wasn't his. So they obviously changed their mind. But no, for our series, they were very strict.
Yeah, they were really strict.
I know. Yeah. Right, next one, and this is his username, Stephen the Cookie Lover. Great username. Yeah, I know. Did you learn to swim faster after going on the show?
No.
No. It was like, it served a purpose, you got through, and that was it.
Yeah,
It was,
no. I mean, like, I didn't, and I can still barely swim now.
Yeah.
I suppose you swim when you need to.
It's sort of an emergency, so if you move your arms around, you'll stay above.
I remember them taking us around the course.
Yeah.
And Andy showing us around the course.
Norgate, yeah.
And every time there was any, I mean, the whole show is basically water.
Yeah.
But, you know, I would always ask how deep is the water.
Yeah.
Because I can't swim. Because I can't swim at all.
Yeah.
You know, so the Red Bulls, how deep is that water? Sweeper, how deep is that water? Final, how deep is the water? You know, even with the
flotation jacket.
Flotation
of course,
I've
the
never
thing is
won
with
one
the
before.
flotation jacket, even when you hit the water, it brings you straight back up. Which you've just reminded me of something. Something you told me earlier in the qualifier. You had the bubble bath thing.
Yeah, we had the bubble bath. I was really annoyed with the guy. I was annoyed with the editors.
They cut out all the good stuff.
Yeah, they cut out everything. They kept my long shout out, which was nice. No, but, because if you remember correctly, on our qualifier, we had to land in the rings. You know, so.
Oh, that's right. It's rings and they're full of foam, aren't
it's
they?
full of foam.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was full of foam, but I actually landed in the rings.
Yeah.
And I had no idea there was any foam in there, and I think I had a mini panic attack when I landed, and I was like, I couldn't see anything. And
of course, you're surrounded by rubber rings, and you're covered in foam,
and surrounded by foam as well. Yeah, and
that's like a foam party from hell, isn't it? Really,
it really was. It really was. And there was a guy in there as well. There was a guy in there. So once I like, oh my god, where am I? I can't breathe. I can't see. Yeah. But there was actually someone in there, and he kind of grabbed me and pushed me down.
Did he tell you first he was going to do that, or did he just grab you and pull you under?
I think he kind of says something.
Right.
You know, all these guys, they were genuinely Argentinian.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So you know, when Richard Hammond's making jokes about you know everyone being Argentinian, Eduardo, there really is an Eduardo, and he doesn't speak any English.
And he has a brother called Eduardo.
Yes, you know, Eduardo squared. Yeah. You know, so he pretty much pulled me down and threw me because you know you're down. You know, you jump into the foam, into the rings. Obviously, you land in water. Yeah. You bop about out of the water. You're like, oh my god! I mean, where am I? I can't see. I'm in all of this. What is this? This is foam? Had no idea this was here. He pretty much pushes you out, and then
and then that's it.
And then that's it. Yeah, but I did actually land in the rings, which I was actually really happy about. And they edited it out.
Happens a few times. People will clear certain obstacles and they cut it out.
Yeah,
it's gutting. Because sometimes that could be the one thing we clear, and then
it can be,
and they don't show it.
Yeah.
But right, carrying on with it. It's all right. I thought I'd bring that up because you told me earlier, and we forgot to mention that earlier. So that's why I thought we'd better slip it in. Right, next one from Sam Hemingway. Did you script your shout out or make it up on the spot?
So it wasn't made up. It was made up on the spot,
right?
But I had already done it for the audition.
I see. Yeah.
So when I did it for the audition, it was made up on the spot,
right?
As well. And if I remember correctly, I think they quite liked the shout out, so they did actually kind of want me to do it again. Stick with it for the show.
That makes sense.
And everything, you know, shout out to Barack Obama. This is going out to my friends, this is going out to my family, to my gangsters in the hood, to my gangsters, to Barack Obama, all of that.
That's it.
You know, it was
just worked.
For some reason, I don't know. I was just saying whatever, and it seems to work.
With Sam, that leads into his next question because he says, "Did you ever meet Barack Obama?"
Yeah, I did. No. No. I wish I could have done it. And maybe you never know. You never know. Someone might have actually shown him the clip.
I'll tell you what. If someone ever says try and get a selfie with Obama, here's how to do it. Because a mate of mine, because he came to Newport once for the NATO conference in 2014, and said try and get a selfie with him. So he was on the news. So what I did, I went up to the TV like a thing, and he had Obama up there. So click. I said, does that count? So if anyone ever says that, try that move. Because technically you are in the same photo then.
True,
so,
true.
It can work.
I'll give it a go. Give it a go.
Got one more question. Now this final fan question, it's actually a video submission. We've sort of answered it already, but well, he's a big fan, so we're just gonna play the clip.
Hello Donovan, long time no see, and I miss you sorely. Good to see you're keeping fit on the old CrossFit, and More importantly, have you been taking swimming lessons?
James, I love you, man. I miss you as well. You're an absolute legend. He genuinely is.
He is.
He's a genuine legend.
He's a gentleman as well, isn't he?
That's the thing that stands out the most about James.
Yeah.
That he is genuinely a gentleman.
Yeah.
But no, I still haven't. I haven't learnt to swim. I really haven't. I don't know why. I just haven't.
Yeah. No, it was. Then I think, like we said earlier, it's like it's a means to an end, really, isn't it? We did what we had to when we were out there. Have I swam much since then? No, I think I've jumped in a pool a couple of times and I've got beaten by kids at about 10 years old that swim faster than me, so like I know my place.
Yeah.
You know, exactly.
Yeah, I'll go in. I will go in the water, and you know, I have tried to swim. I've done stuff, but it's just something that I just can't do it. I just can't, no matter how hard I try.
The thing is, you've got a lot of other things. You've got a lot of other hobbies. Hobbies.
Not hobbies.
So hold on a minute. I need to my mouth. Mouth's getting a bit dry. Yeah, you've got a lot of other hobbies and interests. And of course, that's the other question, because whenever you read these. Whenever you read the comment sections, people are always curious. Because the show was like part of their childhood, what they grew up with. So what are they up to these days? So, what have you been up to since the show?
Not a lot. No, I mean, like I said at the beginning, when I went on the show, I worked in the school.
Yeah.
I was a teaching assistant when I first went on the show. Since then, you know, I've managed to qualify as a drama teacher. So I'm now going into my 4th year as a drama teacher, which is great. You know, it was a struggle for a couple of years. I don't pretend that it wasn't, but it was a struggle for the first 2 years, what with COVID and everything. But the last 2 years have been really good. I've really enjoyed it. You know, it's something that I'd always wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know, because I've been a TA/cover teacher up until 2019.
Right.
You know, so finally qualifying as a drama teacher and being able to try to teach the youth of tomorrow how to
the next generation,
you know, and give them the confidence.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, some of the kids that I've taught that I teach now, some of the kids that I've worked with in previous schools as well, they've all seen Total Wipeout.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah.
It's crazy. It's one of those shows that seems to transcend the generations.
I suppose, the ones you're teaching, it's what they grew up with, and now sort of
so you know, so it's really cool.
Yeah.
It is really cool, and I absolutely love the job. You know, it's
I understand. You said to me earlier before we started this that you've done some acting as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I've done some acting as well. So you know that's kind of what led me into Total Wipeout. Because
is that why you've got the profile on Star now?
That's why I had the profile on Star now. Because like I said, I was looking for acting work.
Yeah.
I love to perform. I love working on a performance. You know, especially a play. You know, working in theatre. You know, you generally just start with words on a page, and by the end you've got this production. You know, you might have some music, and you've got a set, and everyone knows all of their lines, and it's just a buzz. I genuinely love it. So you know, that's what I was looking for.
Do you get the atmosphere from the audience as well? That must help with the performance.
It does. It does. Yeah. I mean, I just absolutely love it. You know.
Didn't you say there was a performance around here, wasn't there, in London that you did that was like a sellout?
Yeah. So I did a show. It was a reworking of The Importance of Being Earnest.
Right.
By Oscar Wilde.
Right.
And there's a character called Mrs. Prism, and I ended up playing Mr. Prism. So it was, all the characters were the same. It was just a gender swap. Basically. And the story stayed the same.
Yeah.
You know, we did the performance to our friends and to loads of people that happened to buy tickets, and we were sold out. I don't know how many people it was.
Yeah.
It was enough for a sellout. I was happy with that. And the director asked us if we'd like to take the show to the Edinburgh Festival.
Oh, goodness, right.
That same year, and we all said yes. And
what sort of time period was that between this show going up to the Fringe Festival?
So, the festival takes place was at the end of July, August time, I think it is.
Okay.
And we had done the show, I think it might have been around Easter, something along those lines.
You had a little bit of time.
So we had a little bit of time to prepare for it. You know, and it was. It was amazing. I mean, but then, like I say, you know, because I'd never been to Edinburgh before.
Yeah.
So I had no idea that there were going to be thousands of other, like, well, it seems like thousands of other shows that are up there.
Yeah.
You know, so go from selling out in London to not selling out in Edinburgh. It kind of made me realise, oh wow, okay, there's, you know, there's a lot of competition there, you know, but it was amazing. I absolutely loved it, and I've been fortunate enough to be able to go up there twice. And I think the second time, the first time I was up there actually, I had a newfound love for the Beatles, because we stayed in a house. We stayed in someone's house, you know, that we rented, and for some reason there was only one CD we could find, and it happened to be a Beatles like greatest hits CD. So I had this CD on repeat for pretty much 2 weeks.
So that was like your introduction to
I suppose so. I mean, obviously I'd heard of the Beatles, I'd listened to their music, but but I think I just got a newfound love for the, maybe because I had it in my head the whole time because we were listening to this one CD.
Cool. Apart from this, I understand, because like James referenced it in his submission about with CrossFit, you got into that as well.
Yeah, I did. Again, that's just something that I kind of fell into. A friend of mine opened up a. So when we you don't need to necessarily want my life story, but you know, when I went on total Wipeout, I'd actually just started kickboxing.
Right.
And I introduced my friend to it as well. You know, and a couple of years later, the kickboxing owners, they asked if he wanted to start running a gym because they had a space. So my friend started doing CrossFit. I went along. I was like, I'm going to be a good friend. I'm going to support you. Turn up to a class. I ended up and I ended up becoming a coach. I think 2 years later, and I was coaching with him for around 6-7 years. You know, and I went out and managed to get my Olympic weightlifting qualifications. I've got strength and conditioning qualifications. I've got kettlebell training qualifications. So I've got all of the qualifications that you need to do to coach CrossFit. You know, but unfortunately, I'm not a coach anymore. Really, because my friend, during lockdown, he decided that he wanted to give it to knock it on the head. He wanted to spend some more time with his wife and more time with his at the time he only had one child. He's now got 2. So he shut down in lockdown. You know, so so I'm not coaching anymore, but I'm still training. And I've done a weightlifting competition a few months ago. And
was that the one I saw the video in April? There was one where it was like it was your PB and triple digits on the stats and everything.
I think it might be actually.
What I'll have to do with this is that if I can learn how to edit, I'll probably put the screen name of your Instagram handle. I'll put it on there. To be honest, anyone watching this on Instagram, I'll tag you in it anyway, and then go straight to your profile because there's quite a lot of your training.
I tried to post. I've tried to post some videos on there. I kind of hope people don't think it's like me bragging or trying to show off. It's just.
It isn't. It's a training blog, isn't it? It's just. It's also. I don't know about you, but I think Instagram's a chance that you can just put little highlights, just little things you remember you've done over the years. It's just like when you scroll through, it's just little random. Oh yeah, that's what I did that day. I remember that. It's nice.
And I always say to my friends and stuff like, you know, I don't really do much outside of work. I don't do a lot. So when I go to the gym, if I happen to take a video of it, then I might just post it. You know, but, I wish I lived I don't wish I lived a rock and roll lifestyle, but you
say that, but then you just casually, your first attempt, you audition for a show, you get on it.
Oh wow.
Because actually, very quickly, just drifting away from Wipeout and the training, you've done a couple other shows as well, haven't you? You've just reminded me.
Yeah, I have. So I did Wipeout 2009. I did The Chase, I think it was 2011.
Right.
I then did Tipping Point, which was I think 2014. And then managed to get onto 2 Tribes with Richard Osman, who we discovered was a script editor.
He worked on Wipeout.
And then I did a show called Can't Touch This,
Okay.
which was hosted by Zoe Ball and Ashley Banjo, and that was more, that again, that was more of an obstacle show.
Right.
So that kind of lended to me, like physically, what you know, what I'm more not capable of doing, but you know, what I was good at doing, I suppose.
Yeah.
And again, there was a qualifying round. There was a qualifier.
Right.
And I missed out on making it through to the second round by 1 second.
Oh, no.
Yeah, 1 second. But again, it was a great experience.
Yeah.
That one, it's a crazy show. You know, we got thrown. It was literally, we were put in a catapult.
Right.
And you got flung from a catapult.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how high into the air you go, and then you land in this pit of foam.
Yeah.
And you know, landing in the foam is kind of like trying to get out of the mud. You know.
Was it foam like what you had in Argentina? That sort of
No,
foam?
no,
Or is it
sorry.
like those foam pads sort of
foam
thing?
pads. You know, like when
you're like in gymnastics.
Yeah, like in gymnastics when you're training.
Yeah.
So it's like a big pit of those, and you fell into those.
Those are difficult to climb out of, aren't they?
Yeah.
Quite deceptive.
Yeah, really difficult. Yeah. And then there was, funnily enough, there was another treadmill.
Yeah.
So I had to run backwards on a treadmill and touch a pad.
Yeah.
And then there was a little bit of water.
Okay.
And I managed
Any
to jump
swimming
over.
involved?
No swimming,
good,
thankfully.
good, yeah.
None. You know, and I managed to jump over this water. So yeah, Can't Touch This. There's another show that I managed.
I'm going to have to search for that one now. The name rings a bell. Is there anything on YouTube with it, do you know? Or
I have looked for it, and I haven't found it yet.
Right.
So if you can find it,
I'll have a look. If I can find it,
I would love to see it because you know, we were talking before we started. You know, I did say I had it on my Skybox, and since then my Skybox has been upgraded, so it's been lost now.
Lost the shows,
and I know a friend of mine had the same issue. He had it on his Skybox, unfortunately it's gone as well. So
sometimes technology can be a bad thing at times. It can make you think you have something, and then it just takes it away from you. It's cool. Of course, I've just thought now, we've talked about these other shows, but going back to Wipeout, being this is your first attempt, you actually, now, people are familiar with the main show. Now, those who watch the show regularly will know that at the end of every series, there is an award show. And you won an award, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
I'll tell you what, just to explain a bit more, we will go to the clip from the award show from our series.
Special award of the night, and it's for a record-breaking performance that happened off the course. On and on, Donovan was physically no slouch and actually made it to the wipeout zone. But what he'll be remembered for is giving the longest shout-out in the history of the show. And here it is, the full director's cut.
Longest shout-out.
Alright, this is going out to Barack Obama, it's going out to my gangsters in the hood, to everyone at Gospel Oak Primary School, it's going out to my friends, to my family, my mum, my dad, CJ, Leon, Dwayne, it's going out to everybody, everyone in the hood, my gangsters, it's going out to everybody, yeah? I love you all, just keep your eyes on me, okay? Enough love and respect.
That is award-winningly long Donovan, but it didn't stop there. Oh no, here he is at the top of the course.
Goes out to Barack Obama, to everyone I work with, to my friends.
And again on the sweeper.
Goes out to Barack Obama, to my friends.
The one person he didn't remember to thank was me. Probably the nerves.
Yes, I can.
Oh my god! I haven't seen that in. I don't think I've seen that since the show aired.
Really?
You know that,
No, because what happens with that one? It wasn't on YouTube, and it was thanks to a few. Once I got talking to a couple of fans of Wipeout on YouTube, they started. So I always assumed all the episodes were out on YouTube, but then I found out a handful of them weren't. And so I started searching, and I noticed that the award show from our series was never up there, and I still had it stored on my DVD recorder, so I put it up there. And again, that's the first time I've watched it in absolutely ages. Now, the thing is, it's been discussed in a couple of the other interviews. Each of the people who win the show, you know, that big trophy that you see at the end, everyone asks, "Oh, can I keep the trophy?" And they say, "No, it's got to be used for the next show." Now, with an award show like that, you would assume that they're just talking about awards but not actually giving anything. Was that the case with you?
Well, you know what? I watched the show like everyone else did, and I couldn't believe that I got it, and I got a lot of Facebook traction. You know, on and on, Don's one again. You'll keep going on and on and on. And a few days later, this bad boy turned up.
That is good. Hold that up to camera.
I don't know if you can see that.
Hold on, let's see if we can get that sort of zoomed in. There, it's literally, it's got your name and everything on it.
It's got my name and everything.
This is potentially the coolest trophy ever.
It turned up in a really big box
in
loads of bubble wrap.
Right.
I had no idea what it was, and I opened it up, and it was this. And
was there a note with it or anything like that at all?
I don't recall there being a note with it. If there was a note with it, I'm hoping that it's not something that I've lost. So I don't. I actually don't think there was a note. If there was a note, I definitely would have kept it. It would have been with this. But yeah, I just thought it was a standalone episode. You know, had I known, I probably would have got the tux ready. And
I know exactly. Now, something else we realised with these awards, those things are so scarce. How about this? There are more Oscars in existence than there are of these trophies. Just let that one sink in, okay? That is a very exclusive club to be a part of.
Yeah, it's really cool. I don't know how many people have actually won a Total Wipeout award, to be fair, but it's...
I'm trying to think, if there's 6 series, I don't know how many awards per show, maybe about 8 to 10 awards maximum.
Yeah.
So there's not many.
It's not many at all, you know.
So you're in a very select few. Yeah.
I didn't win the show, but I managed to win this, and you know, I
would say that's more rare.
Yeah, I absolutely love this.
Yeah,
I absolutely love it, and I'm just so glad that it's still in good condition.
Exactly. No, you've taken good care of it. Yeah, because you've had that for what, 13 years?
13 years.
13 years.
I mean, I did have to polish it off a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Thanks for bringing it along. So, if anyone wondered, yes, the trophies in the award show, they're real and they do get sent out. And I finally got to hold one.
Yeah, you can hold it again if you want.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Donovan, I can't, look, honestly, catching up has just been absolutely amazing. I mean, like I said, 13 years, and it's just been, honestly, it's been great. So thanks ever so much for agreeing to do this.
That's all good. Thanks for
I'm
having me.
hoping there's not too much background noise. We'll find out when we try and play this back later. But yeah, mate, absolute pleasure.
Pleasure, man. Thank you so
Really
much.
is. Yeah,
Really
cheers.
appreciate it, man. Really appreciate it.